Okay. Before that, first you should know the definition of refrigeration. Okay. Refrigeration plays a very important role nowadays. Okay. So everywhere in industries, in domestic applications, everywhere the refrigeration plays a very important role. Okay. First you should know the definition of refrigeration. Okay. Refrigeration is the process of maintaining the temperature of the system below the surrounding temperature and maintaining that same lower temperature within the boundary of the given space. That is the definition of refrigeration. That is the process of maintaining the temperature of the system below the atmospheric temperature. Not only maintaining the temperature, and also we have to retain that temperature within the boundary of the given system, and this is achieved by continuously extracting the heat from the cabinet in the space. This is how to we are going to achieve the refrigeration process. Okay. And applications of refrigeration are okay mainly in food processing, preservation and distribution. So we can store the raw fruits, vegetables, fish, meat and poultry. Storage of dairy products like milk, butter, buttermilk and ice cream. Production and cooling of beer, wine and concentrated fruit juices. Processing and distribution of the frozen food is mainly used for a domestic application. Not only in domestic application, so we can use the refrigeration system in chemical and process industries as well. The industries like petroleum refineries, petrochemical plants, paper pulp industries require very large amount of cooling capacity for efficient manufacturing, processing and storing. Chemical and process industries. Third one, special applications like refrigeration is useful in cold treatment of metals, ice manufacturing, manufacturing and preservation of medicines, chemicals in medical laboratories for storing of test samples, desalination of water. Okay. And air conditioning, as I said, one more part is there, that is called as air conditioning. Air conditioning is also a part of refrigeration. Okay. In case of refrigeration, we are going to maintain the temperature of the system below the atmospheric temperature. On the other hand, in case of air conditioning, not only maintaining the temperature, we can control the humidity, that is moisture content in the air, and next we can clean the air before entering into the system, and also the flowing of the air within the confined passage. Okay. Hence the difference between refrigeration and air conditioning is that, okay, so in case of refrigeration, okay. Okay, so in case of uh, air conditioning, not only controlling the temperature of the system, and also we can control the moisture, that is humidity in the air, and also the cleanliness of air, and also the motion of the air within the confined spaces. These are the differences between refrigeration and air conditioning. Okay, so first I'll explain the different types of refrigeration. There are mainly two types of refrigeration. One is vapor compression refrigeration system, and another one is vapor absorption refrigeration system. Okay, so vapor compression refrigeration system is the basic refrigeration system. First, you should know the different parts of refrigeration system. We are having evaporator coil. The main function of the evaporator coil is to convert the change of phase from liquid to vapor. Next, we are having the compressor. The main function of the compressor is used to increase the temperature and pressure of the refrigerant in the system. Third one is condenser. The main function of the condenser is to convert the phase from vapor to liquid. And finally, last one is expansion valve. The main function of the expansion valve is to uh, reduce the pressure of the refrigerant. Okay, before that, you should know the substance called as refrigerant. Refrigerant is a carrier substance used in a refrigeration system which undergoes the change in phase from vapor to liquid in condenser and liquid to vapor in the evaporator. We are having different types of refrigerant like ammonia, sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide. Next, we are having Freon 1,2, Freon 2,2, and modern refrigerants. Already studied the refrigerants, okay, and they should have the certain properties to be used in a particular system, okay. So these are the four basic parts of refrigeration system. First one is evaporator coil, okay, which is placed in the cabinet. Second one is compressor. Compressor is placed at the bottom of the fridge. Third one is condenser coil. Condenser coil is always placed behind the refrigerator. And finally, expansion wall is a link between the evaporator and condenser. These are the four basic parts of vapor compression refrigeration system. Okay. So next, cycle of operation. How the vapor compression refrigeration system works. Okay, first, always when going to start with low pressure low temperature liquid refrigerant enters into the evaporator coil. Always we have to start with low pressure low temperature liquid refrigerant. So it enters into the evaporator coil. When it enters into evaporator coil, it absorbs the heat from the cabinet. When it absorbs the heat from the cabinet, then there will be heat transfer takes place, and thereby converting the liquid refrigerant into vapor refrigerant. Okay, next what happens? So this, after passing through the evaporator coil, we are having the low pressure and low temperature vapor refrigerant, because in the evaporator there will be change in the phase. So beginning at the beginning of the evaporator is low pressure low temperature liquid refrigerant. After passing through the evaporator coil, we'll get the low temperature and low pressure vapor refrigerant. That low pressure low temperature vapor refrigerant then enters into the compressor. The main function of the compressor is to increase the pressure as well as the temperature. Now condition of the refrigerant after passing through the compressor is low pressure high pressure high temperature vapor refrigerant. That is next taken into the condenser coil. As I said, condenser coil is placed behind the refrigeration system. Okay, so when it enters into the condenser coil, once again there will be a loss of the heat to the surroundings or to the atmosphere. So because of this loss of the heat, so that the vapor refrigerant gets converted into liquid refrigerant and temperature is decreases. So the condition of the refrigerant after passing through the condenser coil is high pressure low temperature liquid refrigerant. But it is not possible to take the high pressure liquid refrigerant for the next cycle of the operation. We have to reduce the pressure of the liquid refrigerant before passing through the next cycle of operation. Okay, we are having one more called as expansion valve or throttle valve. Okay, so expansion, the main function of the expansion valve is to decrease the pressure of liquid refrigerant to the practical limits, and also it regulates the flow of refrigerant for the next cycle of operation. Okay, so after passing through the expansion valve, we'll get the condition of refrigerant as low pressure and low temperature liquid refrigerants, like that. So we have to like this, in this way the refrigerant circulates in the system and undergoes the change of phase from liquid to vapor in evaporator coil and vapor to liquid in the condenser coil. So these are the four basic parts of vapor compression refrigeration system. Okay, next, another important refrigeration system is called as vapor absorption refrigeration system. Okay, so vapor absorption refrigeration system, you can see here is the vapor absorption refrigeration system. So in case of vapor compression refrigeration system, only a single refrigerant is used. But in case of vapor absorption refrigeration system, uh, two things are used. One is a refrigerant and one is a absorber. Okay, so here the best examples are ammonia and water. Ammonia is used as refrigerant and water is used as a absorbent. On the other hand, water is a refrigerant and lithium bromide is the absorbent. Like that, we are having the different combination, but widely used combination is ammonia and water combination, because ammonia is easily soluble in water. Hence, this combination is widely used in vapor absorption refrigeration system. Next, what is the difference between a vapor compression refrigeration system and a vapor absorption refrigeration system? Okay, so you see the diagram of vapor absorption refrigeration system. Okay, in case of vapor compression refrigeration system, we are having compressor. That compressor is replaced by these parts. Okay, one is the heat exchanger, another one is the generator, next one is we're having the absorber. Okay, these are the parts which are not there in the VCR. Okay, so compressor is replaced by absorber, heat exchanger, generator with the heating coil. Okay, next, in working principle. Okay, so that there is no change in these three parts. Condenser, expansion wall and evaporator coil exist as it is in case of VCR, but only the compressor is replaced by these three parts. One is the heat exchanger, one is the generator, and one is the absorber. Okay, next, working principle. Okay, working principle, always, as I said, we are going to start with low temperature, low pressure liquid ammonia. So first, low temperature, low pressure liquid ammonia enters into the evaporator coil. When it enters into the evaporator coil, it absorbs the heat from the given cabinet. When it absorbs the given heat from the cabinet, then there will be change in phase from liquid to vapor. So we'll get the conversion of liquid phase into vapor phase in case of evaporator coil. Okay, next, this low pressure, low temperature ammonia vapor then enters into the absorber, the most important part in the VAR, vapor absorption refrigeration system. Okay, now starting we are having the weak solution of the ammonia. Okay, so when it enters into the absorber, absorber contains the water, you remember, so that this ammonia vapor gets mixed up with the water in the absorber. Okay, so the strong ammonia, weak solution of the ammonia is get converted into the strong solution of the ammonia when it enters into the absorber, because in absorber we are having the water. So ammonia vapor gets mixed up with water, then so it becomes strong. So we'll have the strong ammonia vapor after passing to the absorber. Okay, first starting we are having low pressure, low temperature liquid ammonia, which is weak in solution, enters into the evaporator coil. When it enters into the evaporator coil, then there will be change in phase from liquid to vapor. Okay, we are having low temperature, low pressure liquid ammonia vapor. Sorry, ammonia vapor enters into the absorber. Okay, when it enters into the absorber, so that it is mixed up with the water, so that weak ammonia vapor gets converted into the strong ammonia solution. Next, but there is no change in pressure, because pressure will be remain same, that is low pressure only. Next, it enters into the pump. So the function of the pump is similar to compressor. The main function of the pump is to increase the pressure. Okay, you studied in a centrifugal pump. Okay, so the main function of the pump is to lift the working fluid from the lower level to higher level, or to increase the pressure. Okay, so next, after pump, it enters into the heat exchanger. Heat exchanger is a device where the exchange of the heat takes place between the cold fluid and the hot fluid. Okay, in one line the hot fluid is flowing, and in another line a cold fluid is flowing. Okay, here that is the vapor, that is low pressure, the strong ammonia solution enters into the heat exchanger. Okay, when it enters into the heat exchanger, so it gains the heat from the coil, okay, as it we are having the another coil, so that temperature gets increased. Okay, so we are having, after passing through the pump, we are having the high pressure, and also when it exchanges the heat with the other coil, so temperature also increased. Now the condition of the refrigerant after passing through the heat exchanger is high pressure. High pressure means it passes through the pump increases the pressure. Okay, next, high temperature, because it passes through the heat exchanger. So we are having the high temperature and high pressure strong ammonia solution, because it is passing from absorber. So the condition of the solution is strong. So high pressure, high temperature strong ammonia solution then enters into the generator. Okay, generator is consisting of heating coil, so where the heat is supplied with the external source, so it is a generator where heat is supplied externally. Okay, so when it enters into the generator coil, the heat is supplied externally. So when the heat is supplied externally, so the ammonia vapor, that is nothing like the steam, it floats on the surface of the generator. Okay, as we know that the density of the steam is less than that of the liquid, already studied in boiler. Okay, boiler, that is two types of boiler, Lancashire boiler and one more boiler you studied, where the formation of the steam takes place at the top of the generator. Okay, so when this high pressure, high temperature strong ammonia solution is when the heat is supplied externally, so that the steam formation takes place at the top of the generator, and the liquid phase remains at the bottom. So that liquid once again enters into the absorber. Okay, so this is nothing but water only. That water is circulates from generator to the absorber through the heat exchanger. So next, we are having the two phases. One is steam or ammonia vapor, and another one is at the bottom. We are having the water. That water enters into the absorber, and that gets mixed up with the ammonia vapor coming out from the evaporator, so that we are having two phases. One is vapor and another one is our liquid. Okay, so this ammonia vapor from the generator enters into the condenser. Okay, so we here the condition is high pressure and high temperature ammonia vapor. You remember the condition of the steam after passing through the generator is high temperature, because the heat is supplied, the pressure also not changed, high pressure only, high pressure, high temperature, ammonia vapor next enters into the condenser coil. When it enters into the condenser coil, heat gives away to the surroundings or to the atmosphere. When it gives away heat to the surroundings, what happens? The temperature drops, and also the change in phase takes place from vapor to liquid. Now condition of the refrigerant after passing through the condenser coil is high pressure and low temperature liquid ammonia. Okay, because there will be change in phase, and as enters into the condenser, the temperature drops. So the condition of refrigerant after passing through the condenser coil is high pressure, low temperature liquid ammonia. Okay, that next enters into the expansion valve. The main function of the expansion valve is to reduce the pressure at practical limits. So when it enters into the expansion valve, the pressure decreases. So we are having the low temperature, low pressure liquid ammonia enters into the evaporator coil for next cycle of operation. So like that, the cycle continues. Okay. So this is the working of VAR. Okay, then difference between VCR and VAR. In case of VCR, we can use any refrigerant, but in case of VAR, we are going to use two things. One is refrigerant and one is a absorbent. Okay, second one, in case of VCR, the refrigerant gets compressed. Okay, in case of VAR, the refrigerant gets absorbed in the absorber. Okay, and then third one is due to the presence of the compressor in VCR, the system is a little bit noisy, because whenever you are having the compressor, the system is noisy. On the other hand, the VAR, the operation is quite smooth and effective because of absence of the compressor. So we'll get very less refrigeration effect in case of VCR. So we'll get a more refrigeration effect in case of VAR. Okay. So the maximum refrigeration capacity in VCR is up to 1000 tons, and the maximum capacity in case of VAR is above 1000 tons. Okay. Next, with respect to the application, the VCR is mainly used in domestic applications like our household application. On the other hand, VAR is not suitable for domestic purpose because ammonia is used as a refrigerant. Okay, now we'll discuss certain properties of refrigerant. In order to select refrigerant, it should have, okay, now I'll discuss this uh, differences between VCR and VAR. Okay, so VAR is works on the heat energy because we are having the generator. The VCR is works on the principle of mechanical energy due to the presence of compressor. Okay, VAR does not depends upon the electric power. On the other hand, VCR requires electric power to run the compressor. Okay, next, here in, as I said, in VAR, the mixture of refrigerant and absorbent is used. In case of VCR, only refrigerant is used. Here in VAR, the vapor refrigerant is absorbed and heated. Here vapor refrigerant is gets compressed. Okay, the vapor absorption system is quite smooth, and because of absence of compressor, VCR, the compressor, due to moving parts, it is little bit noisy. Okay, so these are the major differences between VCR and VAR. Okay, and next, okay, as I said, refrigerant plays very important role in refrigeration system. Okay, so it absorbs the heat by operating at low temperature and rejecting the heat by condensing at high temperature. Okay, next, the properties of the refrigerant. Okay, in order to select a proper refrigerant in a system, it should have certain characteristics. Okay, first one is low boiling point. Means in order to have the good refrigerant, it should have the very low boiling point, because boiling point is affected by pressure. So we should have low boiling point. Next one is low freezing point. It should the liquid refrigerant should not solidify under a specified pressure. Okay, third one is high latent heat of evaporation and high critical temperature. These are the four thermodynamic properties. Low boiling point, low freezing point, means refrigerant should not condense, should not solidify easily under a specified pressure. High heat and heat of evaporation. Okay, so we'll get the high heat transfer, high critical temperature. Now for easy condensation of refrigerant vapor, we should have the high critical temperature. Next one, in with respect to physical properties, we should have low viscosity. Means suppose you are having high viscosity, then the refrigerant will not flow easily in the refrigeration system. For that purpose, we should have the low viscosity. Second one is low liquid specific heat and higher vapor specific heat. So we should have lower liquid specific heat and higher vapor specific heat to increase the refrigeration effect. Next, we should have lower specific volume. Means the refrigerant should occupy minimum space. Okay, you remember. So for example, carbon dioxide is used as a refrigerant because it is having the low specific volume. Means it reduces the space required for the refrigeration system. Next, we should have the high thermal conductivity and high electrical insulation. Okay, next we should with respect to chemical properties. So we should have, it should be non-toxic in nature, it should be non-flammable, non-explosive, non-corrosive, and good chemical stability. So it is non-toxic, it should be non-flammable, non-explosive, non-corrosive, and good chemical stability. And also it should be easily miscible with the lubricating oil because refrigerant should have the good mixing properties with the lubricating oil. Okay, especially whenever compressor is used, we need the lubricating oil. And then other properties are, it should be easily available, it should have the low cost, and we can handle with ease. Means ease of handling. and it should not have any effect on the ozone layer. Okay, these are the desirable properties of refrigerant. Next comes to our different types of refrigerant. One is ammonia. So next we are having sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide, freon, and freon 1 2, freon 2 2, and modern refrigerants. These are the refrigerants used in the uh, refrigeration system. Okay, next I'll discuss the different terms used in the refrigeration. Most important term. Okay, the first one is refrigeration. Refrigeration is defined as the process of reducing the temperature of the given space below that of surrounding atmosphere, and also maintaining that lower temperature within the boundary of given space. Okay, already we discussed. Second definition is refrigeration effect. Refrigeration effect is how much amount of the cooling takes place in a refrigeration system. Okay, it is defined as the amount of cooling produced by refrigeration process is known as refrigeration effect. It can be also defined as the rate at which the heat is removed from the refrigeration system in one cycle of operation. So it is a rate at which the heat is removed from the refrigeration system in one cycle. One cycle means it has to undergo all the four processes. For example, in VCR, we are having four processes. When it undergoes all the four processes, then only we are calling it as one cycle of operation. Okay, that is the rate at which the heat is removed from the given system in one cycle of operation is called as refrigeration effect. Next we are having the ton of refrigeration. Okay, the capacity of refrigeration is expressed in terms of ton of refrigeration. So 1 ton of refrigeration, you remember, 210 kilojoules per minute, or 210 divided by 60, 3.5 kilojoules per second. So ton of refrigeration is defined as the amount of heat absorbed to produce 1 ton of ice in 24 hours from water, and initial temperature of water is 0 degrees Celsius. Okay, it is defined as the amount of heat absorbed in order to produce 1 ton of ice in 24 hours from water, and initial temperature of water is 0 degrees Celsius. Okay. Next, we are having the ice making capacity. Ice making capacity is defined as capacity of a refrigeration system to remove the heat from water to make ice. It is defined as the amount of the uh, heat removed from the water in order to make the ice. That is called as ice making capacity. Next, we are having the refrigeration cycle. So the refrigeration cycle is defined as, so it has to undergo all the four processes. Okay, we can define as the changes that takes place in a refrigerant as it alternatively undergoes, means it alternatively undergoes evaporation and evaporation and condensation process. One more definition is there. Coefficient of performance is defined as the amount of heat removed due to the work supplied. Okay, so in order to remove the heat from the given system, it is very necessary to supply the work to the system. Hence we are going to express the efficiency in terms of COP. COP is amount of the heat is removed or absorbed to the work supplied. Okay, that is Q by W. You studied in case of IC engine, we are going to express in terms of efficiency. For example, your mechanical efficiency is a ratio of brake power to indicated power, but in case of refrigeration, we are going to express in terms of COP. COP is a ratio of amount of the heat is removed or absorbed from the given system to the work supplied, that is Q by W. Okay, and you remember the efficiency of any engine is less than 1, that it is less than 100%. On the other hand, the COP of the refrigerator is greater than 1. Okay, always it is greater than 1. So based upon this one, we are having the two types of COP. One is relative COP, and the second one is actual COP. Okay, relative COP. relative COP is defined as actual COP divided by theoretical COP. Okay, remember, based upon this one, we are going to define the relative COP as the ratio between actual COP to theoretical COP. Actual COP we are going to obtain experimentally using this one Q by W. On the other hand, theoretical COP is obtained by using the empirical formula. Okay, actual COP is a practical COP, what we are obtaining experimentally, and theoretical COP is the one which are obtaining using the empirical formula. So whatever the ratio, that gives the relative COP. So these are the terms involved in the refrigeration system. Okay, now I'll discuss the important part, that is air conditioning system. So before that, you should know the difference between refrigeration and air conditioning. The refrigeration is a process where maintaining the temperature below the atmospheric temperature and maintaining that temperature within the boundary of the given space. On the other hand, the air conditioning is a process where we can control the temperature below the surrounding atmosphere, and also to control the humidity or moisture content in the air, the cleanliness of air, and also the flow of air within the confined space. Okay, now I'll explain the working principle of room air conditioner. Okay, so what you are seeing, this is the sketch of room air conditioner. Okay, though before that, so it is very similar to our vapor compression refrigeration system. Apart from the what are the additional devices are there, just you see. Okay, we are having the motor on one side, it is connected to fan, and other side we are having the blower. Okay, these are the one extra thing, and here the electric power is required to run the fan and blower. Okay, and remaining process is same. Okay, and one more is there, air filter. Okay, so before supplying, so as I said, the filtration of air is possible in case of air conditioning, but the filtration of air is not possible in case of a refrigeration system. Okay, we are having these parts. Okay, the motor at the one end, we are having the fan, at the other end we are having the blower. Okay, so and here we are having the two side, one is inside the room and outside the room. You remember this evaporator blower is placed inside the room. Okay, whereas the condenser coil and the compressor, okay, is placed outdoor condition. We are having two condition, one is indoor condition and one is the outdoor condition, inside the room and outside the room. So inside the room we are having the expansion valve, we are having the evaporator coil, and we are having the blower. Okay, and we are having the condenser coil, and then we are having the fan at the outdoor condition. Okay, and this motor is run by the electric motor. Next, working principle. Okay, here first the blower draws the warm air from the room. Okay, first, as I said, the blower is placed inside the room. It draws the air from the room through the air filter. So whenever it passes through the air filter, the air gets filtered, and then it passes over the evaporator coil. Okay, as I said, liquid pressure, low pressure and low temperature liquid refrigerant, it enters into the evaporator coil. Okay, here first the blower draws the air from the air filter, means it sucks the filtered air through the air filter. The condition of the refrigerant is low pressure and low temperature liquid refrigerant enters into the evaporator coil. As it enters into the evaporator coil, it absorbs the heat from the warm air, because it the warm air, okay, it takes the air from the room, it is in the warm condition, so it absorbs the warm air and undergoes the change of phase from liquid to vapor, and then the blower delivers the cold air now then to the room, where it mixes up with the room air to bring down the temperature and humidity of the room. Okay, starting we are having the hot air. Okay, that hot air enters into the filter. That hot air enters into the filter, and then the refrigerant is flowing through the evaporator coil. Okay, so that when it undergoes the change in phase, there will be change in phase from liquid to vapor, so that evaporator coil absorbs the heat from the warm air and undergoes the change of phase from liquid to vapor. The blower then delivers the cold air to the room. So this cold air gets mixed up with whatever the present air in the room, and thereby reducing the temperature and also the humidity of the room. Okay, in this way we can control the humidity using air conditioning. Okay, so just if starting we are having the hot air enters into the filter, and then whatever the refrigerant passing through the evaporator coil, change in phase takes place. Okay, and then the blower transfers that air to the room, and that gets mixed up with the existing air, and thereby controlling the humidity in the room. Okay, next, this, okay, the same condition happens, that is next, the low pressure and low temperature vapor refrigerant enters into the compressor. The compressor increases the pressure. Okay, next, the high pressure and high temperature vapor, you see there is no change in phase in compressor, only it increases the pressure. So high pressure, high temperature vapor refrigerant then enters into the condenser coil. Okay, condenser coil. Now when it enters into the condenser coil, okay, the fan, so the fan, it takes the air from the atmosphere, you see, because the fan is located outside the room. Okay, so the fan draws the atmospheric air and then blows over the condenser coil. Okay, when it blows over the condenser coil, the temperature gets reduced. The change in phase takes place from vapor to liquid. Okay, condenser coil, because the fan draws the air from atmosphere and then it blows over the condenser coil, thereby bringing down the temperature. Okay, the change in phase takes place from vapor to liquid in condenser coil. Okay, next, so here vapor refrigerant is converted into the liquid refrigerant, and also uh, temperature gets reduced, but the pressure will be high only. Okay, because there is no change in pressure, but the change in phase takes place from vapor to liquid. So we are having the high pressure and low temperature liquid refrigerant that enters into the expansion valve. Okay, so in the expansion valve the pressure gets reduced. Okay, so when the pressure gets reduced, so the it enters into the evaporator coil for next cycle of operation. It is very similar to our VCR, but only the difference is that we are having the motor, a fan, a blower. That blower, expansion valve, and evaporator coils are placed inside the room, whereas the condenser coil, compressor, and then fan are placed outside the room. Okay, so here we are having the two extra devices: fan, which draws the air from the atmosphere and then flows over the condenser coil, thereby reducing the temperature. On the other hand, we are having the blower. The blower absorbs the air through the air filter and then supplies that cold air to the room. Okay, so this is how the air conditioning works. Okay, so uh, uh, I'll So you can see the structure of fan and blower. Okay, this is the fan. Okay, it is placed outside the room. The main function of the fan is to take the air from atmosphere and then transfer that air to the condenser and thereby reducing the temperature. On the other hand, blower is placed, it is a structure of blower, so it takes the air from the room, okay, and then passes through the uh, room. Okay, now last part. Okay, so the applications of air conditioning. Okay, so as I said, the air conditioning plays a very important role. It is divided into two categories. One is the comfort application and second one is the process applications. The comfort application is used to provide an indoor environment that remains constant in a range. Okay, so that according to the human comforts, the refrigeration systems are designed in residential buildings, including family houses, duplexes, and small apartmental buildings, institutional buildings like hospitals, computer laboratories, etc. Commercial buildings, okay, it includes the malls, shopping centers, restaurants, offices, transportation like cars, buses, ships, aircraft, and spacecraft. These are all the comfort application. Next, with respect to process applications, to provide suitable environment for a process. Okay, like in hospital, especially in operation theaters, where air gets filtered through high levels to reduce the infection risk and humidity control. Next, industrial environment for breeding laboratory animals, nuclear power plants, pharmaceuticals, chemicals, biological laboratories, textile factories, printing factories, mines, food processing centers, etc. Like that, the refrigeration and air conditioning plays very important role on all aspects of our life, like comfort applications and process application. Okay. So this completes the revision of refrigeration and air conditioning. Okay, in this class we covered what is the meaning of refrigeration. Okay, next the various terms involved in the refrigeration system, like refrigeration effect, okay, ice making capacity, next COP, relative COP, etc. Okay, we studied the working principle of vapor compression refrigeration system. We studied vapor absorption refrigeration system, different types of refrigerants, okay, their desirable properties, okay, working principle of VAR, that is vapor absorption refrigeration system, differences between vapor compression and vapor absorption refrigeration system, okay, and then lastly we studied the air conditioning system, that is room air conditioner, the applications of air conditioner. So this completes the revision of refrigeration and air conditioning. Okay. uh, okay guys, I'll stop the session here. Thanks for joining the class. Okay, and all of you have to enter your USN and name in the chat box without fail. Okay, so I can stop the session now. Okay, all of you can leave the meeting now. Okay, all of you can leave the meeting. So everyone, you can leave the meeting now. Okay, I'll stop the session.